Okay, early Sunday game. We'll kick off with the New York Giants taking on the Miami Dolphins. What I did see interesting this week, through 16 games for Tua, his comparison against Kyler Murray in every major quarterback category is ahead, and Kyler Murray did win Rookie of the Year that year. So
that is very interesting.
Yeah, but of course Tua has his 16 games spread over a much longer period.
Yeah.
But as a direct comparison for 16 versus 16, I thought that was interesting. The only one he didn't have, I think he had better touchdowns, better intercepts, of course less rushing yards. Passing yards, I think, was very comparable, like within 100 of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Percentage was better. Win percentage also better. He's won more games. Kyle, of course, playing for Cards team that went 1-15, I think, the year before. But I thought that was interesting. Tua gets a lot of hate. They want Deshaun Watson, but he's been doing okay things for them.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's my thought. Yeah.
They've won 4 in a row, so
Yep.
that helps them.
And coming off that horrific injury that he suffered at Alabama with his hip dislocating, I've been a big fan of Tua and really want to see him succeed. It's been nice for me, kind of as neutral, couldn't really care how the Dolphins go, to see him put 4 wins together.
Yep. Yeah, but if we keep thinking with the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle has been very good for them. He's coming on. The rookie wide receivers overall, as the first rounders, been excellent all year, so they're killing it. So yeah,
Chase, Waddle, Kadarius Toney's shown flashes.
Yeah, I think Moore was a late pick and he's played well.
I think he might be.
He was early
start
second.
of the second, but he's been
good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Giants? They had a big upset last week against the Eagles. Saquon, nice to see, didn't have a huge game, but got a little bit involved, and Kenny Golladay had his most involvement since week 3. What do we think here, boys? I think Miami keep rolling. I think they get the job done here against the G-men and make it 5 in a row.
Yeah, I agree. Miami for me.
I'll switch my tips. I'm going Giants.
Ooh, I like it.
Why?
I don't know.
No reason.
I honestly have no reason.
What's the odds telling you in front of you?
Well, that's the thing. I picked Smokey this week. The Giants are underdogs $1.26. The Dolphins are $1.50. Sorry, $2.60. I don't know.
You said $1.26. Yeah. How did you get $2.60 to $1.20? Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Dyslexia.
Yeah. You've moved the decimal places and added a 1. Okay.
I have. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I hope you don't ever do my accounting.
I mean, I have been.
Don't come after me, OTR.
No. Where was I? We have a line of 4.5. Total match points of 40.5.
That's low. I wouldn't mind taking the overs on that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think these guys can both get there.
The Dolphins' defense, we didn't mention, has been fucking lights out in these 4 wins. They've allowed 46 points and have had 10 takeaways in the last 4 weeks. Dolphins' defense, keep an eye on them. Indy at Houston. The Colts did come off a loss against the Bucs last week. However, they've been playing some pretty good football. Jonathan Taylor found the end zone again. He had 83 yards on the ground. He had four catches for 14 yards.
And he did most of that damage in the last quarter because they ignored him for most of the game. I don't know why, but hey, the last quarter they were like, let's go back to what we know and pound the rock, and they went right down the Bucs' throat to kind of make that game close.
He's very good at football. Monks, do you mind having a look at the MVP? I'm sure he's still fairly long. When Derrick Henry was doing his thing, we still had him in the
and he's only just taken
20s.
over Derrick as well.
He's playing very, very well. I tell you who's not playing very, very well is the Houston Texans. They cut Philip Lindsay,
who I think went to Miami as well. So
they pick him up.
So he's at the Dolphins.
And you, as a Denver fan, would have seen him tearing it up a couple of years ago. Again, we speak about the running back market. It is cutthroat,
especially for Lindsay as a smaller bloke as well. Like he's
5'8", isn't he?
Yeah, and 200 pounds ish if he can get there. 2-3 years in Denver, and then see you later.
It is cutthroat. I imagine we all have gone Indy away here.
They're playing way better football of late.
Yep. Any odds there on Jonathan Taylor?
For MVP?
Give us MVP. Who's
Regular season?
is Tom one or is he? Yeah, Tom's had a really good year. It should be fair.
He's 45.
Well, you've seen the Battlefield ad. He was bloody MVP in 2042 or whatever it was, playing at 60-something years old.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Tom Brady's favourite at $4. Close.
Josh Allen's there.
Yeah, $5 close behind him.
I think he's had a bad month, so I think that probably pushes him out of the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, probably not where he was a few weeks ago, but not too bad on the weekend, and no reason why he couldn't take it out.
Yeah,
Who comes in after there?
Yep. So after there, always is up there. Aaron Rodgers at $7.50.
In your nose, baby.
Yep. And yeah, Jonathan Taylor. He's
Number
coming
four?
in 1, 2, 3,
there's a
4,
few
5,
down, but-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can count to 10.
Who's the first skill position?
Jonathan
Him,
Taylor.
yeah.
It is 10. So
Yep.
all of them are quarterbacks.
All of them quarterbacks.
Can you just give me a run through the quarterbacks?
Yep, sure.
We've done the
So,
first 3. Give me the next 6 before we get to Jonathan Taylor.
yep. So we've got Kyler Murray, Patty Mahomes,
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, then Jonathan Taylor.
It's interesting that Murray, what was he, 5th or 4th? 5th.
Fourth.
4th, and he's missed 3 weeks.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
So
Had he been playing every game, probably a shoo-in to be favourite so far. Look, it's been a long time since a running back has been the most valuable player in the NFL, but Jonathan Taylor's certainly putting his name forward. Obviously, we've all gone the Colts here. Monks, if you wouldn't mind, the odds in this game, probably the line will be more interesting than the head-to-head.
Yep. So Colts are favourites $1.21. Texans out at $4.45 at the moment. Mm-hmm. We have a line of 5.5 and total match points of 45.5.
Give me Colts minus 5.5 all day, every day. Thank you very much.
would you go overs on that?
Not sure. Don't care. I think the Colts cover that line.
Just back on MVP as well. Mac Jones, 13, seeing at $81 at the moment.
He's potentially firming as offensive rookie of the year. You know they like to give it to quarterbacks.
I think he will win that.
Yeah.
I think there's fuck all chance he is MVP. But I think, he will be the favourite for...
His competition is Chase, and I think Chase has been...
He's dropped off the last few weeks.
He's been a little bit quiet the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks. Like still putting up, good numbers, but not the numbers he was putting up at the start of the first through the first 7 weeks.
Sure
So
thing.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
we'll get to both of them moving forward. You'd be very surprised if the Colts drop this game. Moving forward, another game which seems to be fairly one-sided. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Detroit Lions. The Vikes came off a loss to the 49ers, but it was an interesting battle. Both managed to score a few points. Kenan Nwagwu, I hope I said that right. He's actually on 2 kickoff return touchdowns. Dalvin Cook went down and Madison came in for him. Monks, if you wouldn't mind chasing up his injury status. And Adam Thielen, White Claw, he had 2 touchdown catches and it's been pretty handy for him. So that dual threat with him and Justin Jefferson. The Lions, man. Like, I'm a Packers fan. You're meant to hate him, but I just feel sorry for him.
Have you seen the pictures of Dan Campbell? Like from his press conference of his introduction to the Lions coach to his press conference from the loss on the weekend.
Has he lost hair?
Not hair, but he looks like he's aged about 10 years. So it is, the Lions we knew were in a tough spot. Stafford's very much been holding that team together and kind of keeping them out of the bottom tier of teams for a very long time. But
and interesting to see him go to the Rams and be so good. And we'll get to him in a
well,
second.
we knew he was talented. Honestly, we knew he was talented.
Yeah.
They haven't been good since Megatron left. They've got nothing at receiver. Swift has been a good find for them. Injured, won't play in this game. Jamal Williams will be their starter there, and they've got nothing on defense. So they're a long way away. Vikings by a lot.
Agreed. Vikings for mine. Monks, what have you got on Dalvin Cook?
Yep. So with his dislocated shoulder, they're expecting him to miss at least the next 2 games.
So Swift had a sprained shoulder and will miss at least this game. They're hoping to get him back soon after that.
Tell you what, Madison's pretty handy. He can step in and fill those big shoes of Dalvin Cook. But yeah, be hard pressed to see the Vikings losing this one. I imagine it's 3 Vikings. What are the odds there, Mux?
Yep, 3 Vikings. Vikings are favourites, $1.30. Lions are out at $3.57.
Line?
We've got a line of 7. Total match points of 46.5. I think $1.30 is pretty good value for that.
Yeah, you'd reckon.
Can you find quickly for me Alex Madison over 100?
His line won't be that many. It'd be 70 odd, maybe.
Well, the last 2 times he started, he went
Yeah,
125 and 110. Like,
He goes off. And Detroit not known for their run defense.
new.
I don't think we have those markets yet.
You should be able to go
Where are we looking?
running back props.
Well, I find that I might start introducing the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Jets because it's a game about who cares. So the Eagles, of course, lost to the Giants last week.
I care. I don't know about Philly.
Yeah, well, Hurts threw 3 picks last week. They looked great against Denver. I think Denver looked terrible, let's put it that way. And New Orleans the last 2 weeks, and then they absolutely stunk against the Giants. They do face another New York team. We did mention, as I mentioned in the intro, that Joe Flacco and Mike White both got COVID, but Zach Wilson is back. I think they'll probably leave Zach Wilson in there as their QB of the future.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Elijah Moore, like I said before, keeps looking
He looks
good.
pretty good, yep.
Probably wasn't as good in their last game. Against the Texans. They did win against the Texans, so the big props there. Elijah Moore didn't have as good as stats, but also he's got Zach Wilson, a rookie, throwing in balls. So that is always going to temper his amount of targets and opportunities he's going to get. Having said all that, Moore probably may get Slay this week because Corey Davis is out and Crowder has been having a bit of a quiet year, potentially quarterback related, less so him related.
And Darius Slay has been good.
Yes. So Mike Carter is on IR as well, so they've been turned to Coleman as their starting kind of running back. I just don't think they have the talent currently to fight this Eagles team, but then Eagles also do Eagles things.
Don't they? It's just very hard to punt on or tip or anything. But
so I'd say avoid this game for any tips or that. I think I went Eagles.
I've gone Philly.
I went Philly.
They're better on paper.
They should win on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, unbelievable running the football, and then when he drops back, you just have your heart in your mouth. So be interested to see what he does here against that Jets team, but I imagine they're pretty handy favourites.
Yep. I've got Eagles as well, so 3 Eagles there. They are favourites $1.33. The Jets are out at $3.34 at the moment. We've got a line of 7 and total match points of 45.5.
A few points.
Yeah, I'd avoid.
Yeah. Would not touch.
Did you get me a market for Madison rushing yards?
No markets.
Not yet.
It might still be a little bit early.
Okay, all good. So we turn to the Cards taking on the Bears. The Cards 9-2 record, best in the NFL, matching the Suns, I believe, for the best in the NBA.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona doing well as a state. Kyler and Nuke both practiced this week. They were both limited for Wednesday practice, first practice of the week. Both should be on track. They potentially could rest Kyler again. But by all accounts, they wanted to use the bye because they had a bye last week to get them both right, which would mean they both missed a month worth of football. They should play in this game. Andy Dalton did lead the Bears to a scrappy win on Thanksgiving against the Lions. Not a game you should watch unless you want to torture yourself.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close. Exactly, it was close. Did break their 5-game losing streak. I believe Fields has got cracked ribs, so he's probably a week or 2 away.
Yep.
I don't think they'll probably stick with Andy at least.
Be a red rifle. Yep.
Yeah, they'd stick with him going forward, at least for now. He did throw 300 yards in that game against the Lions, the first time since week 9. Mooney is probably their number one at the moment. I think Robinson's
Yeah.
been hurt as well, which is
And unhappy, apparently.
he's been unhappy for years. He's been playing with bum quarterbacks for ages. He wants to go elsewhere, and they keep they franchise tagged him, so he'll go elsewhere in off season. So Mooney looking was good. I think he had 8 targets, 5 catches for 123 yards. Rumors Matt Nagy might get fired. I think they probably want to give him some time with Fields.
Yep.
And then they're not the worst team in football. They're not very good, though.
Yeah, I agree.
And
You've got to...
Cards win this, irrespective if it's, Kyler Nuke's show or if it's Colt McCoy and James Conner.
Cole McCoy's been sneaky good. He's been doing a job, in the absence of Kyler and DeAndre. Yeah, agreed. I think Matt Nagy deserves a little bit more time there at Chicago, especially when Justin Fields gets healthy. But yeah, you can't go past the number 1 seed in the NFC. I've tipped the Arizona Cardinals. Monks, what you got for us?
Yep, I've got the Cards as well. They are favourites $1.26. The Bears are out at $3.90 at the moment. We have a line of 7.5 with total match points of 45.5.
Don't like much of that outside of Arizona winning.
Yep.
This is a really interesting game.
Yeah, well, the Chargers coming off getting fucked by Denver.
Yeah, you
at Chris Peppers. Yes, very happy with that. Probably getting the pretenders tag, I think. They've got some talent there, but they just run into those top teams. Not to say Denver is a top team by any account, but comparable teams or teams with a slightly more talent, and they just end up falling in a heap. And yeah, they proved on Denver they really couldn't move the ball, either passing or on the ground. Denver played pretty well on a D. Patrick's at 10, 2 picks, 1 touchdown. Big shout out to him.
The rookie.
Yeah, his first touchdown in Denver. His dad's last touchdown was in Denver. So there you go. A bit of history there. Bengals, on the other hand, have been looking good. Joe Mixon back healthy. Give him all the carries. He's killing it. That really opens up for Chase and Burrow to do their thing.
And T. Higgins it was last week.
T. Higgins as well. Yeah,
nuts.
don't forget about T. Higgins coming out of Clemson. Everyone forgets about him and talks about the LSU boys. But they murdered the Steelers, who are just old. Let's call Ben old.
Yeah, slow.
Yeah. Throwing absolute lame ducks at this point. So I think this is Ben's last year. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough
He's cooked.
assessment. However, this game in the Chargers and Bengals, it's a really interesting matchup because both have a sniff here as AFC wildcard hopefuls. For mine, I think one team looks a lot better than the other, and I think that's the Cincinnati Bengals. I've gone the Bengals here.
Yeah, Bengals at home. I think I picked them as well. I like that's what some of the key position, like the players they've got on the Chargers team, but like Joey Bosa getting stiff armed by Teddy Bridgewater, kind of reflects where their season is at the moment.
And they're just so inconsistent. They look so good one week, and they just look so ordinary.
It might be because they've got like a second year quarterback. He's still finding his feet in the league, and they got a young coach as well. Stanley's only been there 2 years as well, so they're kind of still finding their way. Maybe they're a year or two away, but
sounds exactly like the Cincinnati Bengals to me. But
it's true.
Maybe one's better than the other.
I think that's
that's another storyline in this one. Herbert versus Burrow.
Yeah.
2 elite young quarterbacks. Who will turn out to be the better one? Time will tell.
I think I said
this game will be interesting.
I said the same thing about the Bengals, and I think they kind of proved a couple of weeks ago where they're kind of at. One of these teams potentially could play playoffs. I don't think either of them do go deep. They're a year away kind of thing. They need some extra pieces to kind of get them to where they need to be.
Agreed.
Both have the quarterbacks, though, that they need for the future.
Indeed.
So
Bengals.
Yep, I've gone Bengals as well. They are favourites, $1.58 at the moment. Chargers are out at $2.39.
That's not bad value.
Yep, we've got a line of 3 and total match points of 50.5.
I was thinking maybe take the overs. That is quite high, but both these teams can score some points.
Yeah, they could easily put 60 on this. Like this could be one of those 33,
Bit of a shootout.
34 shootout kind of games.
But 50, whenever you start getting to 50, you get a bit nervous. So.
Well, like what the Chargers scored 14 last week?
Yeah,
13.
Yeah.
13, but
Week before, they were 41. The week before that, they were 20.
yeah, well, Bengals D's probably not the same kind of D as facing Denver's D is at the moment. So they should score points. I think they can score 28, 30 plus. Bengals can do the same. Like potentially overs could be there. But it might be a close one.
So both the Chargers and Bengals put up 41 points against Steelers. So 1 week after the other.
Steelers, not the same Steelers.
Nope.
Their defense isn't real good at the
I have still been playing their defense on my fantasy team.
Wow.
Get around the Dolphins, they're going good.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon games, NFC South matchup, which you tend to think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the Bickies here at Atlanta. The Bucks, absolute shootout against the Colts. Regular season, Lenny.
I was worried for a moment, but yeah.
Fair enough too. It went right down to it. Probably the best game we've seen out of Leonard Fournette in quite some time, if not ever. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air, 24 total touches.
Cemented himself.
44 PPR fantasy points. He's running back 5 in PPR fantasy. I don't think anyone really picked that happening at the start of the year, even though he had such a good playoff run last year.
Well, I think we should talk about, Jones has kind of fallen off and he's in the doghouse, and
Isn't
Bernard really hasn't added that much as a receiving option.
But
hey, if Lenny's getting 7 catches in a game, they're like, well, he can catch, let's keep him in. So
he's looking like a top 5 drafted running back, isn't he? And it's good to see.
He's getting the snaps. So, yeah, it's good to see. Good to see Gronk back as well, doing Gronk things.
Gronk smash.
I think that comedy looked vintage, and he's like, I'm happy I'm vintage. I only think he's only 30, like he's still a young bloke.
Yeah,
so,
31 maybe.
31,
It's our age. Fuck, that's
What, the fact that he was considering retiring or had retired?
He had retired for a year.
The fact that he's just completely balling it at the moment.
Yeah, and he's got a good rig and probably parties harder. Anyways, we could go down a whole rabbit hole there, couldn't we?
Yeah. Falcons, they did come up for a W against the lonely Jags. That man, Cordell Patterson, continues to impress. 16.
Dude.
He's RB1 at this point.
No question.
Yeah. 16 carries for 108 yards for 2 tartars with 2 catches of 27. They've actually listed him on the defensive depth chart as well. He's their backup safety now too. Because he was like, hey, I need to add some, defense to my capability.
He's built like a hard-hitting safety.
Yeah, he'd probably be big for a safety. Like, it's a big safety coming after you. I don't think he's going to play any safety, but hey, he's on the depth chart for shits and giggles. Of course, I mentioned the Falcons, they signed another punter.
Yeah, how did that get in the notes?
I don't know.
He's not Australian.
Yeah, it was just news. They signed a punter.
Thomas Morstead, welcome to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, punters are real people, so
they are.
I don't think it matters in this game. I don't think it helps them beat the Buccaneers. I've gone Bucks.
Don't know
about that.
Who has the biggest podcast in the NFL realm in the world? Pat McAfee.
Yeah, a punter. Yeah.
A punter.
Yeah, but who's also got one of the biggest mouths in the NFL world?
Pat McAfee.
Exactly.
So
I mean, he's the right comedian as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he talks. Like, he can tell a good story, a good joke as well.
Not too bad. In terms of this game, what are we thinking? You think the Buccaneers get the bickies here, although Atlanta kind of trending in the right direction, but I imagine 3 Buccaneers?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. The odds reflect that. So Buccaneers are heavy favourites at $1.17. The Falcons are out at 5.10 at the moment. We have a line of 11 and total match points of 50.5.
Quite high scoring.
No, I'd go unders on that.
Wouldn't touch anything.
I wouldn't touch it low, yeah.
The Bucks win that, though, surely.
Yep. Speaking of another game that should end up in a definite win, the Rams should fuck the Jags after been playing some pretty average football of late since the Odell Beckham Jr. Pickup. But then again, the Browns haven't played overly well in that time frame either.
And it's not OBJ's fault.
No, he scored a touchdown on the weekend.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think the Rams just have been in a rough period. I think their defense, for how highly tailored they are with the names they've got on, haven't really played to what they could be.
Well, we saw that on the weekend, didn't we, against the Packers? But they put on 36 points against.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers didn't matter if Ramsey was covering Adams. He went to him. I think he was 7 of 7.
Didn't care there. Didn't care if Donald
5 for 5
was
for
coming
first
after
down.
him.
So yeah,
But
didn't matter.
Having said that, the Rams are still pretty good. They're still pretty good. They're 7-4. Like, let's not get too carried away. We did allude to it earlier in the podcast. Matt Stafford is having an unreal year.
Yep.
He's over 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns, 9 intercepts. The poor bloke, it's good to see him getting some there at Los Angeles after, sticking it out for a long time at Detroit.
Yep.
You'd imagine the Rams get this job done. Of course, Jacksonville knocked off Buffalo in a very unusual game a few weeks ago. Do we see this happening this weekend? I would say no. You would say
no. I think the Rams need to they're going to right their ship. So, and I think the note you got there, the Jags got Texans and Jets coming up. Potentially, there's some wins there, but their season's going to be a long one, and they're not going to have many wins. Probably picking in the top 5.
At best, Jacksonville finishes this year with 4 wins. I did have a look. I highlighted the Texans and Jets as potential wins. Outside of that, I don't think they bother anyone. Anyways, thinking of Trevor Lawrence, an unbelievable talent. Sometimes they just wind up at a bit of a shit show of an organisation. But
they're a couple of years away from where they need to be. They've got football Jesus now, and then they got to build around him.
So that's what happens when you go number 1 in the NFL draft.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blessing and a curse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hope to be Mac Jones and end up with the Patriots. Let's be honest.
Sometimes lower is better. Monks,
it.
what's the odds here? Do we have the Rams over $1.10?
Only just. So they are low. They are $1.14 at the moment. My tip is the Rams as well. Jaguars are out at $5.80. We have a line of 13 and total match points of 47.5.
I'd take the Rams with that. Oh, it's always hard with the line, isn't it? But at home, they should get out to an outstanding start, you'd think.
They should blow them out of the water. If they don't, I'd be really concerned about Rams football for the rest of the year.
About pretender tags.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so we have the Washington football team taking on the Las Vegas Raiders next. The Washington football team on a 3-win winning streak as well. They did beat the Seattle Seahawks during the week. Antonio Gibson seems like his shin fractures aren't causing him any more issues.
Look good.
He had 36 touches in total between his carries and receptions in this one. May need to do more in this game with JD suffering that really bad. Well, it looked bad, like neck compression, concussion of the head.
You don't like to see them.
And he was out cold, so it was a bad one for him. They're currently 7th seed in the NFC with Philly losing. The Raiders did win that overtime thriller we mentioned against the boys, and Derek Carr is 6-0 this year when he throws over 300 yards. Interesting. Monks, can you find an answer for Darren Waller where he's at? Deshaun Jackson doing Deshaun Jackson things for the Raiders.
Dude, he's still fast as fuck.
Yeah.
He's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah.
He's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah. Perhaps what happened with your multi?
I won one. It happens. I think I won enough to cover a bit of my losses from the rest of the year. So definitely still in the red on the NFL. But it's always nice once in a while. Yeah. 1-1 on that Cowboys-Raiders game there on Thanksgiving. The Raiders are last in the AFC West, and they have a winning record, 6-5. Most likely, we're probably seeing 3 teams come out of the AFC West.
Could be.
Who knows? It's a long time out. This game is very interesting. We've got this Washington football team, highly touted defense at the start of the year. We're playing like dog shit to start off, but have started to kind of put things together.
Well, yeah.
Taylor Heineke looks pretty good, and Derek Carr looks really good. And despite all the adversity with the Gruden and the Ruggs things here.
Yep.
The Raiders are 6-5. This is one of the harder tips of the week, boys. I've gone the Raiders at home. I think they get it done, but I probably won't be betting on this game, and I wouldn't be too confident with that tip.
Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near this game betting wise. I picked Washington. I want to
Away win.
Yeah, away win, continue their roll on, go to the 4 wins in a row. Be interesting to see how they go in this one. Step up in competition, I think. The Seahawks are a bit stinky this year, so they're different. And they haven't beat the best competition, and the Raiders, in a very competitive AFC West at the moment, really need a wins, but I don't know. I like Washington purely because I got Gibbs in my fans team, but otherwise.
Max, you've got a deciding tip here. Hasn't happened
do.
very much this evening. What have you got?
So real quick on Darren Waller, he is not at practice as of Wednesday, week to week, as usual. Yeah. I have gone the Raiders this week.
The Raiders. The odds, I imagine, pretty close.
Yep, yeah, pretty close. So the Raiders are favourites at $1.69. I waited for that.
Yeah, we're all in our thirds.
Very mature here.
Yeah, of course.
On the Esky.
Dinner for 2. Let's go. Well, sorry.
We're both married, so it's usually 96 for us, where we don't talk to each other and lay in bed, not looking at each other.
Nothing wrong with that either. You get tired, Just sometimes
working all day.
Yeah, they're working all day. You still love each other, but just you want to get your 8 hours, get it done with. I'll see you on date night in 4 weeks.
Finish these odds, mate. Date night in 4 weeks.
I've completely lost that now.
We're talking about 69ing and the perils of marriage.
Actually, yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. The football team is underdogs $1.18. The line, so you mentioned 69 before. Washington football team, line 2.5 is at $1.96.
Oh,
so there's the other half. Yep.
Premonition.
Exactly, and total match points of 49.5.
Okay. All right. So all we got out of that is Derek Carr to 69, Terry McLaurin at the end of this game paying $100,000 for one.
All right. Let's move into the North. So we have Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
In a tight AFC North.
Yes. Besides maybe the Steelers, but the Ravens, they're still there, but 5-5 with a draw, and the Ravens at 8-3, leading the AFC, I believe, at the current state. Ravens, they did get their win over the Browns, despite Lamar throwing 4 picks. I probably think this is more conversation about the Browns, who only rushed like 40 yards.
How in the fuck did the Ravens win this game? Seriously, it was low scoring. Lamar with his arm was horrendous. Pretty good with his legs, as per usual.
Are the Browns playing this week, or are they on bye?
They're on a bye.
Let's mention Browns here then. I think they, in their bye, hopefully need to sort some shit out because
they couldn't run the ball. They've got the number, like you'd think on paper, the best running back tandem in the NFL, and they ran for fucking 40 yards with Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
There's some serious problems going on at the Browns.
I wonder, because Hunt came back into this game and they played a lot more snaps. I wonder if that then maybe affected Chubb's like juju of how, or his, getting into the game,
couldn't get a rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm, exactly. That's what I'm looking for. Not juju.
Struster also struggling to get the rhythm.
Yeah, I think injured at the moment. So the rhythm. Into that game, and then Baker's playing with. I'm not sure if you've seen his strap with the braces on it, so it can't go to certain angles.
He needs surgery.
Supposedly, like he was his healthiest, but then he's like limping around with an A-frame, so he's cooked. So
he needs surgery.
Yeah,
poor Baker. I like him. I think he's a likable dude.
Yeah,
I saw a meme this week. It was like when you realise that Baker Mayfield is sober Johnny Manziel.
Pretty much.
But I just thought that was funny, but it's not a dig either at Baker Mayfield. I think he's got some good stuff ahead of him.
He needs a couple of months away, essentially.
Yeah.
He needs to go recover, have the surgery, etc. Get right, because the Browns can't carry the load currently with him, especially if they can't run the ball. And I think the Ravens came into this with a good game plan of take the run away, make Baker throw the ball because he can't do it. And they played good D.
And coming away from the Browns, back to this AFC North matchup.
Speaking of quarterbacks that can't throw the football, they take
an
on
old
Big
one
Ben.
and a young one. I think the Ravens do this easily. I've not been impressed by anything that I've seen out of Pittsburgh this year.
Outside of Harris, he's their only shining light. The rest of them are really struggling.
He got shut down last week by the Bengals. I've gone Ravens here. I think they do it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, same.
Yep, I've gone Ravens as well. They are favourites at $1.45 at the moment. The Steelers are out at $2.78. We do have a line of 4.5. Total match points of 44.5. Sorry, 44.
I like Ravens line, to be honest. Although Ravens love a hard-fought, gritty, kind of close one.
Especially against the Steelers.
Yeah.
And it is at Heinz Field, so no, I wouldn't go near the total match points at all. I'd just pick Ravens by head-to-head.
So not unofficial sponsors and not official sponsors, Sportsbet, have the Steelers.
We're off them.
Yeah, we're off them. Steelers have failed to cover the line in the last 6 of their 7 games at Heinz Field.
They're dropping off.
Line does look juicy, I guess.
End of an era. In the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers take on the Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers have 3 wins in a row. They beat the Vikings last week. Their offense is actually clicking. They have 30 points in 4 of their last 5 games. I'll tell you who else who's clicking. Elijah Mitchell. He had 27 touches last week, 133 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And Deebo Samuel, we talk about Cordero Patterson as being that Swiss Army knife, that running back receiver, don't really know what he is. Deebo Samuel, 6 carries last week, 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. When you think about it, it doesn't really surprise you that much because he's built like a running back.
He's had these packages for a while, and Kyle Shanahan loves to pound the rock and run the football, so it's not unsurprising.
And he likes a bit of an unusual playbook as well, doesn't he?
So you've run Eli Mitchell 27 times. You throw in the little sneaky of Deebo Samuel as a running back as well, to keep you honest and to do a bit of trick plays there. So. Yeah, not unsurprising. I think Debo's a bit banged up, though. He left this game. He didn't finish this game. I'm not sure what his injury is. I think he might be all right. Monks, can you confirm he's going to play in this or not? They did sign Funchess from the Packers after getting cut by the Packers as an extra wide receiver option.
Be interesting to see what Devin Funchess can do. I think he was a first rounder back in the day with the Carolina Panthers. Big-bodied, touted as like a Megatron kind of bloke and has not really lived up to any expectation.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what he can do at San Francisco. Seattle, on the other hand.
Well, we mentioned it. They can't run the ball. They've signed AP. I don't think AP's playing. He's going to play in this game.
Russ doesn't look like Russ.
He's overthrown everybody. Like, he really struggled to connect with DK in this game. He did connect with Lockett a fair bit, especially when Lockett was open 50 yards downfield. But DK 1 catch for 13 yards to make sure he didn't get a donut in this one. But I think you put the note in there, Peps. DK has more hair colours this year than he has wins.
Yes, four hair colours and 3 wins. And this is coming from a guy that loves DK Metcalf.
Same here, big DK fan.
And Monkey's got him on his fantasy team. He's an absolute specimen.
He's been in the league 3 years, and 3 of us have had him in our fantasy teams, I think.
Yeah, and I really wanted them this year. And I'm glad I didn't get him, to be honest. But that's no hate against DK. Obviously has all the talent in the world.
I think it probably speaks more volumes about Russ and where Russ is at the moment.
I saw some nasty memes about Russ this week. There was like a let Russ cook, and it was like Vegemite on toast. It was like something that I would cook up. As if
if they can't run the ball, they definitely should be passing it more. And I think Russ was passing it more.
He's a bit like Big Ben, isn't he? And he just doesn't look like his old self.
Russ at least can throw it 20 yards downfield. So
but he's just it's kind of like you really want to root for the guy, but you also kind of.
I think he's actually just not there. They might not mention the finger injury as much, but I think it's probably maybe affecting his release point or his grip or something's a little bit off. It's just not right.
Definitely.
And that little tolerance ends up being, a yard overthrown where it's just too high for a guy like DK to go up and get it. For that reason, I think their season's going in the wrong direction, but I've picked the 49ers. I think this is the first time they have a losing season. Because they won't get. They might get back to 500, but by all accounts, they have first losing season for Russ and Peter Carroll. First time under 500.
They wouldn't have had one for a long time.
No,
and I'm glad you mentioned Pete Carroll. Do you think he might call it at the end of the year?
No. If Russell's still there, I think he stays. If they move Russell goes elsewhere.
And he's even been very gracious this year in saying a lot of my success in my career has come down to this man, Russell Wilson, which you love to see out of a bloke, giving credit where credit's due.
So I think they're tied at the hip. So
it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting what happens to Pete Carroll. I think he's the oldest coach in the NFL.
70 plus.
So it will be interesting to see what happens there. To a man that won a Super Bowl and went to two. But I think maybe his last year there in the Pacific Northwest.
Don't think they win this game. 49ers for me.
Agree. 49ers. Monks, your thoughts, please.
Yep. So Adrian Peterson was signed to practice squad. Most likely definitely not starting anytime soon. You mentioned the record. So after the 49ers, they've got Texans, Rams, Bears, Lions, and Cards.
A lot of winnable games there. Texans, Lions.
A few there, but still not going to hit that.
They lose the Cards and Rams and probably win the other three.
So they lose this weekend and they can't get a winning record. That's it right there.
That's it.
Odds, Max?
Yeah, so I've gone 49ers. Odds are their favourites $1.56. The Seahawks are out at $2.44. We have a line of 3 and total match points of 45.5.
Let's go into Sunday Night Football prime time. AFC West matchup. The Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I need to quickly relieve myself, but I'm sure you would like to talk about your Denver Broncos.
I'll talk for them for the next 5 minutes.
They're looking pretty good.
Well, they've been up and down all year, unfortunately. We're good again currently, so we'll see how long that lasts. But we do, like we said, big divisional game on prime time. For the lead in the AFC West, whoever wins this game will be number one in the West. We did run the ball well. Melvin Gordon's been looking good. Javonte Williams is the leading rusher without a start in the NFL. So that's a little bit of stat for you there. So I'm on the free Javonte Williams bandwagon, considering he's on my fantasy team. Only team in the league with 2 runners over 500 rush yards, I believe, and kind of shows that their committee they've got. We did sign Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton to good deals through the year, so lock them up for the next 3 to 4 years, which goes hand in hand with Judy and Hamler on their rookie contracts. So they're going to be there. So, our receiving core's pretty much set.
You happy with those deals?
I think it's good money. It wasn't like we didn't pay overs. I don't think we paid unders. I think it was fair deals. Very much makes a very good selling point to potential quarterbacks at Aaron Rodgers, at Deshaun Watson, that potentially want to be traded somewhere at the end of the season. Because, where the defense is at, where the young talent is on offense, we don't need any of those picks anymore. I've traded all those bitches away. And let's get a quarterback, because I think that's the one thing we're missing. Yeah, because, Luck in that game, he came in for a hurt Teddy, threw a stupid pick. Then they benched him to play Teddy on one leg for the rest of the game and got the win. But Teddy's not he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. So I'm Judas in this and picked the Kansas City like I did last week and picked Chargers. Say Denver won. So let's roll with that, and I'll stick with that going forward.
Happy with that.
Pep's pick.
Kansas City.
I've also Kansas City. Their defense has played better in the last month than it has at the start of the year.
Yeah,
so
they looked very ordinary to start off the year, to be honest.
They've kind of come together a bit better. Offense, I'm still worried about Mahomes. He's thrown more picks than I probably would like from Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think he leads the league in picks currently.
He did a few weeks ago.
Maybe one or two of the other guys that thrown 3 picks during the week overtook him. But yeah, Kansas at home. I think Denver's record in Arrowhead in December is 3-19. Kansas City's record coming off the bye is 19-3. Put that all together, Kansas City going to win this.
Great research out of you there, Sean, and I tend to agree. I think Kansas City get the biggies here, although very impressed with the way Denver have been playing. Mugs, if you wouldn't mind your tip and the odds. Did you guys talk about Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton?
Yep. Covered it.
Very good, very good.
I've gone Chiefs as well. They are favourites $1.21. The Broncos are out at $4.45 at the moment. We have a line of 9.5. Total match points of 47.5.
Wouldn't mind the overs there. Wouldn't mind the overs.
I'd say it depends on weather. Arrowhead in December. If it's snowing, unders.
Moving forward to a game which may be weather dependent. Monday Night Football.
Best game this week.
A massive matchup. Huge AFC East divisional rivals. New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. New England, lo and behold, they lead that division at 8-4. Buffalo with the bye in hand, 7-4. The Pats have 6 wins on the trot. Their defense has been playing absolutely lights out. Good. They've given up 63 points in those 6 wins, so averaging about 10 points allowed per game, and they have 17 takeaways, just about 3 takeaways per game. Mac Jones, he's thrown for nearly 3,000 yards. He has 16 touchdowns and 8 intercepts. And the Bills are starting to get back in the right direction. There was a lot of question marks around them a few weeks ago. We did mention earlier that Tre'Davious White has done his ACL. He's probably a top 5 corner in the league.
Their best player in the secondary by far. So.
Yeah, in quite a good secondary there with Michael Howard and Jordan Poyer. Boys, this one is pretty hard to split for mine. I'm going to go Buffalo to break some New England hearts. Obviously, Bill Belichick, he's got the boys going in the right direction, that stellar defense, and Mac Jones, running that offense just as a game manager. But I think the Bills have got a pretty stout defense to themselves, and I think on paper, maybe their offense has got the edge on New England.
I think a pretty crazy thought here. If I told you in week 13, and this is dependent on the Baltimore Ravens losing their match, and the Patriots win, being the leaders of the AFC after 13 weeks, you would have been like, no way with a rookie quarterback.
Not early on in the year, no.
Yeah, but potentially that could be where they end up at the end of this week. But I think Ravens are going to sort the Steelers out easily, so they should maintain their number 1 spot, but be very closely followed by the New England Patriots if they do get the win. I'm sticking on the Mac Jones bandwagon, as I have been all year. I think Buffalo, like you said, better on paper. But, hey, don't discount the New England Patriots. Probably proof that Bill Belichick is as good a coach as people think he is. Yep. Took him a year to retool. COVID, missing half his defenders. But, hey, he's got everyone now. And they're cooking, ready to go to another playoffs. A year removed from letting the GOAT go down to Tampa Bay. So, yeah, impressive organization, impressive head coach. Probably doesn't matter too much in this matchup, but I've picked the Patriots for an upset.
I like it. Bold. It's very bold. Marks, you will have the deciding pick in this game in a round where there is a lot of kind of clear favourites, but this one, really could go either way. What are your thoughts?
Yep. Yeah. So first off, I'll go back to Mac Jones. So, offensive rookie of the year, his odds are $1.36.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's Chase at?
Yeah, right behind him, Chase is $3.08. So fair gap there.
Already firming up.
Yep, that's
I think if we had this conversation a month ago, would have been very different. But Jamar has been very quiet in the last few games. I think Mac's got this pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah, and just for completeness' sake, I'll jump over to the other side of the board as well. So defensive rookie of the year, we've got Micah Parsons with the Cowboys at $1.14.
Yeah,
I think they should give it to him because he was drafted as an inside linebacker, and they're like, hey, go play outside
And he
linebacker.
causes drama.
Yeah,
he
and
causes drama for any tackles.
He's got the best rookie rating for an outside pass rusher. He's getting sacks. He's getting heaps of pressures. Like he's a crazy athlete. Like that's fair. That's
well, you've looked at Cowboys' defense this year compared to last year. I'm not saying it's all on his back, but
they are better.
I think between him and Trayvon Diggs, they've been the main catalyst for them improving.
I'm biased, give it to Satan, but anyway, keep going.
Well, he's coming in second at $9.
Load up. A few picks, who knows? There's still a bit of football to go.
That's it, yeah. Back to this game, I have tipped the Bills. They are favourites at $1.68. At home, Patriots are $2.19, being the away team. We do have a line of 2.5. So very close game, and total match points of 42.5.
Quite low there.
Very low. It is in Buffalo, so maybe they're assuming bad weather in December. I still kind of like that. I think these guys could probably go after each other a little bit.
I reckon so too.
42, like that's a bit like if it was 45 or 47, I'd be less inclined to do it. But 42, that seems low to me.
It is low, but it is also a few days out, so who knows if it's blowing an absolute blizzard over there in Orchid Park. But that will wrap up the games. The teams on the buys this week. We spoke at length before about the Browns. They have a tough run going home. I don't see them playing playoff football, to be honest.
What's the record at the moment? 5-6?
Or is it 5-5? It'll be one of the two. I had a question for you guys. I looked it up today. Do you know the last time the Cleveland Browns won their division?
A very long time ago.
Give me a year. Have a crack.
Oh, I'm just thinking of the quarterbacks. It wasn't Brady Quinn. Did they win one with Dan Anderson?
Nope.
No.
Further back.
Wasn't this millennium?
Was not this millennium.
90s?
No.
Do you want me to put you out in
80s?
misery?
Was Jim Brown the running back? We're going that far back?
1989. Not in our lifetime. That's
month in 1989.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe you guys. I'm a young whippersnapper here in 1990.
Yeah.
The Packers, they have a bye. Pretty impressive against the Rams. They are the second seed in the NFC. AJ Dillon continues in his development.
Just back on the Browns, sorry. So they're 6-6 at the moment.
6-6. It's not impossible. But they've got Baltimore.
They probably lose to Baltimore again.
They've got the Raiders.
Maybe they win against the Raiders.
At Green Bay.
I think they lose to Green Bay.
Cincinnati.
I think they beat Pittsburgh, but then they lose to Cincinnati. So
it's a hard run home.
So they win 3-2 in that and finish 10-9. No, 10 and 8. Sorry. No, that's not right.
17
games. 9 and 7. Fuck me. Quick math.
Cincinnati hasn't got the easiest run home, though. So they've got Chargers this week, 49ers, Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, and Browns.
Nothing easy about that.
They won't finish first. They'll either finish second or equal with Cincinnati, and it might depend on tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Anyway. Packers on bye as well. They did have that impressive win over the Rams. They are currently second seed in the NFC. A.G. Dillon continues to take snaps away from Aaron Jones. How do you feel about that, Peppy?
It's good to see. They're very different running backs. One is, Jerome Bettis, big, truck it up the middle running back, and then one's a kind of smaller, shifty guy that can be used a little bit more outside of the tackles. As a Packers fan, like to see both of them go forward. The Panthers, we spoke at length about CMC.
They're fucked. Their season's done.
Pretty hard without him. And the Titans, they signed Golden Tate this week.
By all accounts, a good run blocker. So exactly what they need in Tennessee.
And AJ Brown is on injured reserve. This one came as a little bit of a shock.
It might only be like a 3-week one.
Yeah,
but that's a free roster spot for Golden Tate. In other words,
sure,
to do it that way. But I think they got Julio out too. I think even Julio's on injured reserve. So
they're banged up. The Tennessee Titans,
considering where they were, 2-3 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago,
the head of the AFC. after coming off like 4 straight wins against playoff teams. Yeah, how the season can turn.
Any news there, Mugs?
So Brown suffered chest, ribs, and hand injuries in the loss against the Texans. They're banged up there. Yep. So he'll be out for the next 3 weeks at least. Yeah.
And that will wrap up the NFL coming into week 13.